Hello, hello. Welcome in. It is, of course, the one and only Melissa T, the procrastination bully. As y'all can see, there was no fancy intro music, at least not this time. Not this go round. But welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for those who responded on social media with the notification that I was going live this evening. Appreciate you. Happy New Year in person this time, like virtually. I know I sent a couple reels, one for Christmas and one as we got closer to the new year. Hopefully, you enjoyed the two back to back episodes for Christmas and New Year, the two-part interview that I did with James, the commish Monahan. That was a great interview, and congratulations to him in terms of his book and his audio book that is on its way. But in the meantime, yeah, welcome back to the Getting the Win show. I'm your host, Melissa T, the procrastination bully. And hey, let me just start out with a quick notion and a quick reminder as we head into 2025. Feel free to do the most this year, okay? Whatever your goals are, whatever your vision is for 2025 and beyond, do the most, right? Do the most because your vision, your mission, your goals, they demand the most from you. That hashtag luxury item demands the most from you. All right. So I just want to drop that quick PSA before getting into the five universal, actionable, repeatable lessons that you can use to make 2025 and literally every single year going forward your best year ever. Okay. So starting it with a quick backstory, quick context for you. I had the privilege of returning home to the beautiful island of Jamaica, where I'm from, in December, the latter half of December. Had the privilege of being there for 2 weeks with all my family, family from here in the US and the family that's down there as well. And it was a blast. It was a blast. But I also learned a lot while I was there. The last time I was in Jamaica was in 2008. So you're talking a 16-year difference between then and when I went in December. So a lot has changed down there. And, you know, a lot has changed with my family and a lot changed within me, like just within the 2 weeks that I was there. So I'm gonna get into these five lessons because hey, that's what you're here for, right? That's what you're here for. So real quick, lesson number one is I unplugged, just straight up. I unplugged. Because the hilarious thing, for those who were trying to get a hold of me at any point within them 2 weeks, could not. The night, literally the night before I flew out with my family, my previous phone gave up the ghost completely. Like it went black, couldn't turn back on no matter how long I was charging it. I charged it overnight. It did not power back on at all. At all. So I had no phone going down there. And then, of course, given the cell phone plan that I had up here, it was not a cell phone provider that provides international service. So while I did, by the grace of God, get a new phone while I was down there, I couldn't use it to make calls to anyone that was up here, with the exception of anybody that uses WhatsApp, because of course, WhatsApp, all you need is a Wi-Fi connection and you're good. But yeah, I was able to unplug completely because God saw to it that I had no phone. He said, I'm gonna need you to pay attention. Okay. I need you to pay close attention. So, how you can apply that since you're in the United States, if you're watching this from the US, or if you're someone who is not in a position to take a vacation and you're still plugged in, is to carve out a block of time in your day where you do unplug completely, whether that's a 2 hour block of time in the morning before you interact with anybody, or a block of time in the evening where you decide you are completely done with all interactions and before you go to sleep. Because, can we be real? If you're someone that's super busy, you might be busy up until you decide to get up and go to bed. Probably not the healthiest option, okay? So, lesson number one is to unplug. This is something that is universal. And pick any of the greats that you follow, that you love, that you model after. They have that block of time too. For a lot of them, it's in the morning. They'll usually wake up several hours earlier than most people. So, E.T. the hip hop preacher, for example, used to do the 3 a.m. thing. He's not on that anymore unless he's out in LA or, out in Cali when he's at his house in Cali because he does host a mastermind call with us, and the mastermind call happens at 6 a.m. Eastern. So, if he's out in Cali Monday to Friday, then yeah, the 3 a.m. wake up is required. But for him, at this point, he doesn't do it as often. But there are a lot of people who will do either the 3 a.m., some will do 4:30, some you'll hear talk about 5:30 or 5 a.m. Robin Sharma is a big proponent of waking up at 5 a.m. He released a book called The 5 a.m. Club several years ago that, covers the virtues of that and just provided a lot of different insights into being highly productive because he targets like high performers. So yeah, there is power in unplugging. So that's lesson number one out of the five. I unplugged and it was powerful. It was great to be able to just get quiet and be able to hear my own thoughts and be able to get divine downloads. While I was in Jamaica, I was on a balcony. I had my journal with me, and God gave me a divine download. And so you guys who saw the most recent reel, I made a brief announcement there where I said I've got something cooking for you guys that's coming up at the end of Q1 of 2025. So that was the download I had gotten. If you're not in a place where you can get quiet like that, you'll miss those opportunities, those great ideas, those sparks of genius, those moments where God can like tap you on the shoulder and be like, I got this for you. Write this down. So there's power in unplugging, getting quiet, hearing your own thoughts, hearing your own mind, and being able to just breathe. Shout out to Sam in the chat. Happy New Year, bro. You're the bomb. Sam is a day one, man. Love that guy. So yeah, lesson number two, I was present. That sounds connected to lesson one, but here's the difference with lesson two. I was present in that I was able to fully take in my environment. Jamaica, just like any other Caribbean island, is gorgeous, visually speaking. Tons of rolling hills. And I had forgotten how very mountainous Jamaica is. Like, I was aware of the Blue Mountains, but did not know just how vast they are. And Jamaica is a very mountainous place. From when we landed in Montego Bay, we took a bus and took that into town, like towards Kingston. The whole 3+ hours, mountains all around us, beautifully clothed in green. There were houses like dotted and jutting out of the green, but the majority is just beautiful mountains clothed in lush, pristine green. And this is scenery I hadn't seen in ages. It was so refreshing to see that. And then we had the privilege for a portion of our time there to stay at an all-inclusive resort. And where we were at the resort, the resort is literally right on the beach. So we had the privilege of hearing the lapping of the waves all day long and every single night when we went to sleep. So if you're someone that is big on having that sort of background music while you're sleeping, whether you listen to white noise or brown noise, or if you, do the YouTube thing and you research those sounds of like rain or the sounds of waves, like it was beautiful to be able to hear that in real time to go to sleep. So it helps to be fully present, to observe, to take in the environment, to people watch in some cases. So that is a universal lesson as well. Even if you're not on vacation, even if you're not any place that's picturesque and beautiful, there is a power to being fully present wherever you are. If you're in a meeting and it's a meeting with you and one other person, or you and a group of people, you have your phone, whether face up or down, it benefits you to be fully present with the people or person you're talking to. That way you take in everything that is available to you in that moment. So, for instance, I was able to take in the journey as we were on the bus. Yeah, the bus had a DVD player that was playing movies and whatnot. I was looking out the window for most of that trip. And I had the privilege of sitting next to my mom, so we would be conversing. That was fantastic. You know what I mean? That was quality time that we got to spend together. Talking, cracking jokes, like her sharing stories of Jamaica's history with me. I would point out certain things and ask her questions. She would answer my questions. We would pass certain landmarks. She would explain them to me. That sort of thing is beautiful. It was me and my mom on one side, my older brother and my dad on the other. It was great. You know what I mean? Being able to slow down and just take in that entire environment. Our first stop was in town, very close to the airport in Kingston. We were at a place that was quite mountainous, and we had a view of the airport at night. It was beautiful, like seeing all the lights and being able to watch planes land. Like it's breathtaking. But yeah, lesson two, be present. Be present, whatever it is you're doing. If you're in a situation where it's your lunch hour or your lunch 15 minutes, your lunch 10 minutes, enjoy what you're eating, because even something like that has its consequences too. If you're eating and you're stressed, or you're eating and you're in a rush, you basically didn't nurture yourself. You basically didn't nourish yourself, because it's the same as you taking in harmful compounds. So if you're eating and that's what the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever is meant for, be 100% present with that. Enjoy what you're eating. Take the time to fully chew, fully swallow, fully drink, be fully present. If you're in a place where you're eating at a park, or like you're eating in a place where you can take in the sound, then take in the sound and just eat and enjoy it. If you're if you're supposed to be reading something and taking notes, only do that. Don't do anything with your phone. Like, just focus on the content you're reading and the notes you're taking. Because the whole multitasking thing, sure, you can do it, but you won't fully absorb any of the things that you're doing because you're half doing it. Okay. There's power in being fully present with whatever it is you're doing. Shout out to Rosalie. I see you ready to go again. She's ready to go back to Jamaica. And shout out to Miss Sonia Sagri. We got the amazing opportunity to spend time with her in Jamaica. Welcome back, 2025 class. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, that's lesson number two. Be present. Whatever it is you're doing, do it 100%. As y'all saw on the shirt, let me take off this caption. Do the most. And the best way to do the most is to be as present as possible. Number three, I got quality sleep. I got better quality sleep. This is something that, at least in the United States, is underestimated. Let me tell you something. Getting some good sleep is a whole cheat code, because when you wake up the next morning, you feel so much better. You're able to function. You're able to think more clearly. Even your appetite is better regulated when you have good quality sleep. And as I mentioned in a previous episode back in season 3, like take note of how much sleep you need. Experiment with it if you need to. There are different schools of thought. Some people say 8 hours of sleep. There are some folks that say 9. Me personally, I strongly disagree with that because that's too much for me personally. Some may need that. If you're someone that needs 9 hours of sleep, make that work. By all means, get them 9 hours so that you can be at your most optimal. But for me, being on vacation, not necessarily having to have the alarm was a big difference. And ironically, because my body was so conditioned to waking up at 6 a.m. for the mastermind call, I usually woke up like 5:45 or something, like 5:30, 5:45, with no help from an alarm or anything. So even that, like allowing your body to breathe and not have the tyranny of noise at your head can make a big difference, depending on your situation, of course. If you're someone whose schedule is super tight, you may still need the machine. You may still need the cell phone alarm, the alarm clock, the watch alarm, whatever the case may be. But my point with that lesson 3, is to get better quality sleep. So it's not so much about to alarm or not to alarm, it's the quality of the sleep. So as I mentioned, a portion of our stay was right on the beach. So we had the assistance of God serenading us with waves lapping on the sand. Another portion of our stay was in the countryside towards the end of our vacation. Countryside was super quiet, super quiet. Not a lot of cars riding up and down that particular road. And when the cars did pass, not all of them were noisy. Some of them were, but not all of them. And we were able to get good sleep. God serenaded us with crickets. Like it was effective. We got quality sleep. We got quality sleep. So if you're someone who is super busy, maybe your brain is very noisy, you're someone that has a lot of ideas and it's hard for you to sleep, I get it. So in your case, it might be to get on YouTube and put on some brown noise to cancel out your thoughts so you can calm down and sleep. There are folks that are huge proponents of what's called sleep hygiene. So if you check out the Model Health Show, shout out to Sean. I believe his last name is Sean Stevenson, but he's someone that's big on sleep hygiene. Ariana Huffington several years ago released a book about sleep and the importance of sleep hygiene. But sleep hygiene can take as little as 15 minutes. It can take up to an hour, depending on what you feel you need is necessary for you to get quality sleep. But it's what you do leading up to your sleep. So one of the things that I recently learned in 2024, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I struggle with it myself. They say get off of your devices 2 hours prior to bedtime. I struggles with that. And I'm saying that with the bad grammar on purpose. I struggles with that because I'm someone that watches a lot of video content on my tablet. So, like, I love watching the video content. I am someone who uses YouTube sometimes to listen to music as I sleep. During those 2 weeks, I did not do that. During those 2 weeks, I was listening to my podcast. I was listening to Secret to Success. Our favorite guys, E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, Jamal King, the Bayesian sensation, Carl Wesley Phillips, and of course, CJ, the host, right? I listened to the podcast and I would play word games on the tablet because I always want to keep up my craft. So even though it is a game and it's kind of light on my brain, it's still massaging the skill set, right? So I would do that and then go to sleep. So I wasn't like watching a bunch of video content and like stressing my brain out or blowing my eyes out with a bunch of blue light. I would play the games, like turn that off, relax myself, and fall asleep. For you, sleep hygiene may include the the actual hygiene, of course, brush teeth, wash face, maybe shower. Maybe you're a night shower person. That way your body calms down and relaxes. Maybe you're somebody that likes to drink something warm before bed, maybe a mug of tea or something. I'm somebody that's like that. Usually when I'm here in the States, that's what I do. I usually drink something warm before I go to sleep. Usually either hot cocoa or golden milk. And my golden milk is super simple, y'all. It's turmeric, ginger, black pepper, cinnamon, hot water, mix all of those together, and then add almond milk to it. No sugar, no nothing else. That is great medicine and it's soothing because it's warm. All of those things are anti-inflammatory, so your body calms down and it literally helps you fall asleep. There's a company named Organifi. They actually have a gold drink it's basically a golden milk drink, and it's meant to be had at night. It's meant to relax you so you can go to sleep. Shout out to Danae Herson. She said, "Love golden milk." Yes, golden milk is a cheat code to help your body relax and go to sleep. If you're somebody that's not a fan of turmeric, but perhaps you are a matcha fan, matcha is green tea. It's the powdered version of green tea. Matcha is also a great way to calm your body down to go to sleep because matcha is also anti-inflammatory and it releases GABA or has GABA or helps your body release GABA. I'm not a nutritional scientist, so don't quote me on this, but it helps your brain relax and helps you sleep. So perhaps that's something you want to incorporate to help you get better quality sleep. So between deciding to alarm or not to alarm, and also the things you do leading up to bed, up to going to sleep, will make all the difference in the world. The third point I'll make on this better quality sleep thing, and then I'll come off of it, is how your environment around you looks when you're sleeping. If you're someone who has to have some light, shout out to folks who need that, make sure the light is dim. Make sure it's dim. It's not like your blue light from your computer screen or your TV screen. Make sure it's something that's more on the spectrum of an orange or a red, particularly red light. They recommend red light because that's easier on your eyes. Anything that's blue light, similar to, this ring light here or white light, it tricks your brain into thinking it's still daylight. So if you still need light, make sure it's dim, closer to yellow or red if you can. That way you still have the safety of having a place that's lit. You can still walk if you need to get up and use the bathroom at night, but it's dim enough that it'll be easier for you to fall asleep. I was just having this conversation this morning with a friend of mine and like co-business client. We were just talking about that. Like she and I both agree we need our rooms black when we go to sleep. Like we both have heavy curtains and we close them, we close the blinds and we pull the curtains. And I was telling her I had to unplug all my devices because if you're anything like me, our devices will have singular lights on them to indicate to you that they're still working, right? Like if you have a TV, there's the standby light on it that's usually red or something. If you have a stereo, the stereo will have a standby light on it just so you can see that it's plugged in and power is going to it, right? And then, of course, if you have power strips that you're using to plug your stuff in, the power strip has a light on it to let you know that power is still going to it. Child, listen, I unplug everything. I have to have zero light coming into my eyeballs if I want to sleep. I unplug everything. It has to be dark, okay? So that helps. That improves the quality of your sleep as well. If you're somebody that's been having these lights in your eyes while you're trying to sleep and you wake up and you're still exhausted, that might be why. So That's the lesson. That's the overall universal repeatable lesson. Improve the quality of your sleep by making those changes. Okay. Lesson number 4. I spent time with the people I love. Now, in other countries and cultures, that might sound like a no-brainer. If you're in the United States and you're watching this, you feel this. This resonates with you at a high level because it's not always readily accessible. In the United States, a lot of time it's about the grind. It's about getting it done. You saw the shirt, it says do the most, right? But there is a way to do the most while carving out time to spend with the people you love. That's very important. And here's why that's important to spend time with the people you love. I got two sub lessons, lessons 4A and 4B. It helps the body heal. Okay. One of the ways that your body heals is through verbal expression. The other way is through movement. So when you speak things verbally, when you emote, and when you physically move your body. And I had the opportunity to do all three things while I was down in Jamaica. While we were on the resort, we didn't do any of the excursions, but every member of the family that was there, because this was a family reunion that we did, every member of the family that was there, we all spent time on that beach. No exceptions. All of us, we had our benches, but all of us made sure to take off our shoes and walk. Like we moved our bodies, we grounded ourselves because we were walking bare feet in the sand. And there's something very refreshing about that, about being grounded. So that's powerful. Like taking time to spend with the people you love not only allows you to laugh and joke and be stupid so you can like emote and verbally express yourself, but also when you're spending time with the people you love, you get to move around. Like when we weren't at the resort, we were visiting family members. We going up hills. We went to Manchester. It is super steep up there. Like, we did some moving around. Okay, we were able to be physical. We were able to have those jokes. We were able to have deep conversations where we were able to express ourselves in ways that are meaningful. We were able to talk through things that maybe we couldn't quite talk through while we were here in the US because we ain't had time. We were able to slow down, verbally express the things we needed to. We were able to emote, whether that was in some cases frustration. In most of the cases, it was joy. In a lot of the cases, it was banter. We were cracking jokes on each other, which we don't always get to do because we're not always in the same space. And sometimes it was prayer. Like all of us that were there together, we're all godly people. So there was a lot of prayers going up. We blessed our food. We prayed for each other. We prayed for family members in other places. So, yeah, there is power and healing when you spend time with the people you love and express what needs to be expressed. Because you've heard me mention this if you've been rocking with me for a while, but our not only do our minds hold trauma, but our bodies hold it too. So those three things that I shared with you, verbally expressing, emoting, and physically moving are all ways that your body gets rid of trauma and stress. That is how your body heals. So carve out time in your schedule to express yourself. Even if you're someone who is highly introverted, you're not big on people because you don't trust them. I feel you if that's you. By the way, that is likely a trauma response. So be mindful of that, be self-aware and be mindful of that. But if that's carve out the time to speak to the one person that you trust. We all have at least one, at least one person that we trust. By the way, shout out to you guys that have been in the comments. I appreciate you. I should be running these while I'm talking. I'm so excited and sharing all these lessons with you. But yeah, take the time to spend time with the people you love. And here's a sub lesson with that. This is a story, okay? And I'm sharing this very carefully, not disclosing any names or anything like that. There are folks watching that are privy to this, but value and take care of those you love. So while down there, our folks, we learned of a senior family member, a parent that was in the care of a facility. We discovered things were not okay there. And our folks raised the alarm. By the grace of God, action was taken. And the parent that was in the facility is now in much better condition, looks better, is great. But this was a lesson I could not skip or ignore. I kept that story very brief for the discretion and safety of those involved. But it is extremely important to value and take care of those you love, because in your grind to do the most, to get that luxury item, it is very hard to accomplish that without relationships. And without valuing and caring for those you love, the relationships you have can die on the vine. Had the alarm not been raised, that person may have literally died. So, by the grace of God, we are a family that value our relationships. So, the folks who needed to say something said something, and the folks who were in a position to do something did something. And as a result, that beloved family member is still here and still in great condition. But value and take care of those you love. Don't be so obsessed with the mission that you forget about the people connected to you, because the people that are connected to you may very well be impacted by the accomplishment of your mission. Okay? So don't see the potential and chase it and then abandon the people that were helping you get there. Or, as I've mentioned in a previous video, don't forget about the people around you that could be resources that can help you get there faster. Okay? That is why this one is a universal lesson as well. Value and take care of those you love. Remember the people that are there for you. Remember the people that love you. For those who you love that may not necessarily help you get to that luxury item, I fully understand that too. Set your boundaries accordingly. Let them know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Let them know what your boundaries are, and then keep going, but never abandon the folks that are important to you on your way to that luxury item. Shout out to mom. She says, thank God for all the pilots. Yes, we need to pay attention. Facts. Facts. Absolutely. So, yeah, on to lesson 5. I was open to see God's moves. Now, even if you're not spiritual, I'm going to break this down. Okay. So, this is the power of, to quote Mignon Francois, speaking what you seek until you see what you've said. Okay. So during one of our UOU mastermind sessions, this was in December, I want to say, either November or December. And it was actually one of the Monday night mastermind calls that Mignon was leading. She encouraged us to speak aloud what we envision for our lives, like our ideal. And I got on the mic and shared my vision. I shared several things in my vision, but one of the things I shared was that I wanted to live in a 3-story house overlooking the sea in Saint Anne, Jamaica. Y'all, one of the places we visited was a multi-story property in Saint Anne, Jamaica, overlooking the sea. God was like, I heard you. I heard what you said. Let me give you a foretaste of what that looks like. Let me help you experience what it would feel like to be in a house like this. Let me show you what a house like this would look like, how it would be built, how it would be spaced out, how far away you can be from the water while still enjoying the view of it, how quiet the neighborhood can be, how close that can be to some of the other major cities and locations in Jamaica. Talk about exposure. If you guys follow, ET and like that whole ecosystem, you guys have likely heard Jamal King talk about that. Your level of exposure determines your level of success. Now that I have been in a multi-story house in St. Anne, Jamaica that overlooks the sea, it's that much more possible for me to be able to acquire that. The first level of exposure was seeing it on YouTube. Shout out to my parents for being absolutely amazing and entrepreneurially minded. That, let me tell you something, it is a whole flex when your idea of relaxation on a Sunday afternoon is watching real estate videos of properties in Jamaica. Like, it was so inspiring to see those. So my first level of exposure was seeing those, which is what aroused the desire in me to say, oh, it's possible for me to actually get a property like that, move back there if I want to, and live in a place like that. Like, it's literally possible for me to do. So the first step was seeing it and awakening that desire to want to. Remember, I talked about the four winds of change, seeing something enough to want to, right? The next level was then going to a property that was similar. If you're someone that follows Lisa Nichols is a big proponent of closing the distance between you and that thing you want. Go to some place that's like it and just touch it. Touch it. Because once you physically touch the thing, it is officially yours. Even if that literal item that you're touching is not yours. Between you and God, you and the universe, like, that thing is yours. Now that you have closed the distance between you and it. Now that I have experienced that property, I now know that a property like that is mine. And I'm super excited. Like, charting the path to get there is going to take a minute, and that's okay. But the point is, I can confidently say I will own a house of that caliber in St. Anne, Jamaica, that overlooks the sea, that's multi-story and has many bedrooms. The one I was in, 7 very spacious bedrooms, absolutely beautiful. And it was enlightening to me because we're so used to what we see in the United States. A lot of luxury properties in the US, despite their size, are built with wood. When I went down there and saw that one, the first question in my head was, how long did this take to build? Because if you know anything about Jamaican construction, those houses are made from concrete. So, fully concrete house, all tile floors throughout the whole house. And like I said, multi-story. And all of the rooms are huge. These are not the bedrooms that you're used to seeing in the US, where you have room for your bed, room for your bed set, nightstand, all that stuff, and like just enough walking room, right? Like, we've seen bedrooms like that, right? Like, bedroom might be big enough for your king size bed, for your bed furniture, and then just enough walking room. No, no, no. These are bedrooms with multiple big beds in them and ample walking space with tile and ensuite bathrooms. So huge, huge property, multiple balconies, multiple porches, huge yard space. So I was like, okay, now that I've seen this, I know it is possible. Shout out to Sam. It's possible, Les Brown, indeed. It's possible. So I, for one, am super excited about that. Boss said we found it. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's possible. So just to reiterate that fifth lesson, don't be so busy in the pursuit of your luxury item that you don't see God moving on your behalf, because God is always working. Even if you're somebody that doesn't believe in God, it's okay. He believes in you and he's still moving on your behalf. What you may call coincidences or synchronicities, we call that God moving, because coincidences and synchronicities are based in energy. God is the source of all energy. He himself is spirit. God is moving. So be open to see him moving. If you speak what you want to see, be ready for when he starts showing you what you want to see. Be open to those moments where he connects you with somebody that is in the realm where you want to be, connects you to a thought leader or expert that speaks on the topic that you're involved in, that, he might connect you to an item connected to your luxury item, a commodity that you're able to invest in that gets you closer to your luxury item that maybe you weren't looking out for. As Tolkien would call it, help unlooked for. Be open to help unlooked for. Be open to see God's moves. When you speak your vision, when you share your luxury item, be prepared for that. And of course, God wired our brains with what's called the reticular activating system. So the moment you say something or make yourself aware of something, your brain is going to look out for more of that thing. If you're looking for a type of car, if a car is a luxury item, all of a sudden you're going to see a whole bunch more of that particular make and model on the road. You're like, where did all these come from? They were always there. You just weren't paying attention to it before. They were always there. So yeah, be open to seeing God's moves. It's powerful. Then I'm going to wrap up with a bonus lesson. Collaboration is the cheat code. Okay. One of the most beautiful things I saw in Jamaica and heard my relatives talking about is that the small business owners down there, there's a whole bunch of competition. Like the economy in Jamaica is a bit different than the economy up here. But if they have a shop and there's another shop right next door, if you come into that person's shop and they don't have what you want, but they know that the shop next door has it, they will tell you, go right next door. Like, boy, boss, me have it right here, so, but just go next door right there, so. You know what I mean? Like, they will tell you, go next door. Collaboration is the cheat code. There was a quote I had seen several months ago now, earlier in 2024, that said, competition is at the bottom. The ones at the top are collaborating. And ET said that as well. He said, there's no competition when you make it to the top. Everyone up there is collaborating because they understand the power of collaboration. You have something I need, I have something you need. Let's do something together. Let's blow each other up. Let's come together and blow each other up. And shout out to Miss Rosalie, aka Mom. Everyone gets to live, no crabs. And that's facts. That's facts. Sam, absolutely. Collaboration over competition. That is indeed the cheat code. That is indeed the cheat code. She said, "Say that again." Yeah, man. Competition is at the bottom. The ones at the top are collaborating. The ones at the top are collaborating. One of the things that ET, CJ, and all of them had made note of on one of their previous episodes of the podcast was there are so many opportunities that open up to them now that they are wealthy. There's so much more free meals that they get, or free opportunities for parking in places that are super packed and it's super difficult. Like, opportunities open up more to them now that they're wealthy than they ever did back when they were broke. And that comes down to mindset. When you move over to that abundance mindset and you understand that anything you need is available to you, everything else opens up accordingly. Back to what I was talking about with synchronicities and the reticular activating system. If you're aware that what you need is always available to you and that there's enough for everybody in the world, then your mind becomes more acute to, okay, what's available to me? Like, what is the solution for this? Who can help me get this? Collaboration is the cheat code. Who, not how. Who can help me get this? Who can make this challenge easier for me to get around or traverse or push through? The world is abundant still. There is still enough for everybody. And if on an island like Jamaica, folks can be like, I don't have it, but go next door. And remember, slightly smaller population, them roads need help. Like, y'all lift up some prayers for the roads. All of my family that's watching, y'all know, y'all feel my pain. But outside of that, like, the folks in Jamaica collaborate at all times. Like, I had the privilege of being in my aunt's neighborhood where is I nicknamed it the distribution center, but it was basically just a beautiful display of giving. Like, there was so many things and items and opportunities being passed around to everybody in the network. Like, oh, I got this. I know so and so will appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, there's this item, like this person can get it. You know what I mean? Collaboration, consideration for others, finding ways that you can be a blessing to other people. That was top of mind the entire trip, the entire trip. And that is something you can use going forward this year and every year. Finding ways that you can be a blessing to others. Zig Ziglar says if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll eventually get what you want. It comes back around to you. And it doesn't take very long to come back around to you. That's the beautiful thing about it. And this goes back to what I was talking about in terms of being open to watching God move. When you open your hand and release what's in it, God will put something else in it. Like, he'll take what you have and give it to someone else, and then he'll replace what was in your hand with something even better. Shout out to Sam. Yeah, the distribution center, bro. It was beautiful to see it. It was beautiful to see it. It's beautiful. Shout out to Ms. Rosalie. I think this has to do with the distribution center thing. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful when you get to be a blessing and then get to see it flow back to you. And it's also touching. This kind of goes back to spending time with the people you love. It's also touching when you choose to be a blessing to others and being a blessing to the people you love. There is a joy and a refreshing energy when they're happy to see you. You know what I mean? Like, nearly everybody we greeted, like it was a whole thing. Oh my God, how are you doing? Like it was just, it was refreshing. We were showered with love and affection and anticipation and appreciation for being there, for being a blessing to them. And we shared our gratitude to them for being a blessing to us. We got to laugh, we got to share stories, we got to talk shop. Like there were a few conversations that were business conversations. So even that was powerful. Even on vacay, like we were still sharpening each other on the business side. And it was awesome. So yeah, let me share this comment from Sam. Shout out to Zig. People can open doors that money cannot. Always put a high value in people and the right relationships. And that's facts. And that's facts. Value those relationships. Value the people you love. Don't get so focused on the luxury item that you forget about the people that are connected to you. Because even in the pursuit of the luxury item, shout out to Demias Purdue for this reminder. I was reading his book. I got to point carefully. Elevation Requires Change. And in there, he gives the reminder when you're making yourself aware of your goal, who is counting on you to accomplish it? So don't just be focused on the goal, but remember the relationships and the people that are counting on you to complete, achieve, receive that luxury item. Relationships are the currency. Currency is the currency, but relationships are the greater currency. Okay? The right relationships. Oh, here's your second bonus lesson, y'all, courtesy of Miss Rosalie. Eat good food. And that is facts. Eat good food too. Coach Lisa A. Smith would definitely co-sign on this one. She's actually in the middle of her SOS free vegan health challenge right now. So if you guys hadn't signed up for that, go sign up for that. Like she is giving you all the sass with the advice and the coaching. But yeah, eat good food because that also refreshes you. It sharpens your mind. It energizes your body so that you can move with more energy, emote with more energy, have a clearer mind to better verbally express yourself so that the body can heal and it can be a proper cycle, a proper feedback loop. Eat good food, enjoy the people you love, get better quality sleep, be a blessing to those around you, be open to seeing God's moves, be present, and of course, unplug. I basically worked my way backwards up the list there. And of course, collaboration is the cheat code. Okay. Take all of these lessons. None of these were new. You've likely heard this from every other thought leader that you follow. But I'm reinforcing it for you, for us, because if we do this from now and let this be the roadmap for 2025, we are bound to hit every single milestone, every single marker that we have set for ourselves in 2025. When you unplug, you get quiet, you hear your own thoughts, remember your own desires and goals. When you're present, you fully engage and get more done that way because you're not multitasking. When you get better quality sleep, you wake up in the morning more functional, more optimal. You spend time with the people you love. It can be 30 minutes, it can be an hour, it can be a 15-minute phone call. It energizes us. And that makes us more optimal as well. It helps our body heal because we get to express what our body wants us to Get off of it, right? Value the people you love, of course. Don't forget them. And then, of course, be open to seeing God move. And He will this year because it's a brand new year. And God does not waste time, nor does He operate small. And this is the importance of being open to seeing Him move. God does nothing small. And as ET likes to say, God don't even move in ones. He don't give in ones. Like he does things in multiples because he's that big. Okay. So I just want to leave you guys with that. Thank you for rocking with me. It's been almost an hour. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to y'all. Y'all are troopers. And absolutely, Sam. Who wins if you win? Yes, that is the question. Who wins if you win? Who is counting on you to win, to get that luxury item? Absolutely. Yes. You're very welcome, Sam. Yes. And if you haven't had the chance to go to Jamaica, y'all, like save up and make the investment. It's a beautiful country. The culture is wonderful. The weather is wonderful. And the waters are wonderful. The food just fantastic. Make the investment, whether that's this year or next year. Like treat yourself. It is absolutely worth the trip. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Take these lessons, write them down, put them someplace visible. If you're somebody that does the vision board thing, put them on your vision board. Write them on an index, write them on a post it, put them on the vision board so you can see them in front of you for the entire year of 2025. But in the meantime and between time, have a great rest of your Wednesday and a great and productive rest of your week. I'll be back with you next week. All right. Quick reminder though, this episode was sponsored by the Spring Forward Writers Retreat. That's happening Friday to Sunday, March 14th to 16th of this year, 2025. See the banner below. Go to springforwardretreat.com for more information. If you're someone that wants to get your book done, we're getting it done in a weekend. Okay. This is aimed towards Gen X women who have a lot to say. You've had a message on your heart. Your luxury item is a book and you've been sitting on it. This is your chance to finally knock it out. No more excuses, no more delays, no more obstacles, no more confusion. This is your opportunity to get it done. You'll hear from not only myself, but from other experienced authors in the industry and other folks connected to the publishing industry. So, in areas of marketing, relationship building, PR. So, you can learn all of the elements of being a successful author. If you're interested in that, go to that website, springforwardretreat.com, for more information and to get your ticket, secure your seat. All right. But in the meantime, in between time, have a great rest of your Wednesday and a great and productive rest of your week, y'all. Peace.